What's up? Trump ruined Charlie Kirk's funeral with disaster fascist meltdown. Listen to this.
Charlie Kirk's funeral was a complete WWE propaganda-style political show meets Nazi propaganda. And yeah, I'm saying Nazi propaganda because Stephen Miller, the chief of staff or the top advisor to Kanks, quoted Joseph Goebbels, like plagiarizing from German to English. This is incredibly dangerous. This is just unhinged Christian nationalism. And it's interesting to note that like his mother, his siblings, childhood friends, none of those people spoke. This was all.
So they had Charlie Kirk's service, memorial service, funeral. And his mother didn't speak. His siblings didn't speak. His close friend didn't speak. They turned it all into political theater.
MAGA flexing their arm and saying, we are going to be a Christian nationalist nation now. And I just want to start it off with, we all know that Elon Musk accused Trump of being a pedophile and said that's why the files are not going to be released, the Epstein files. And Musk wants back in the limelight so bad. Play this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary
Donald
Pete
Trump
Hegseth.
sitting together.
Pete Hegseth basically in his speech, FYI, said like the country was on fire for Christ now. I mean, this is just insanity. But Musk, Trump, what's your takes on that?
Musk found out he is not very popular. In fact, he's the most popular person in the world, and he hates it. And I think this HB1 visa, he wants to get back in the good graces about that too.
Okay, and then next up, here we have Charlie Kirk's wife finishes her speech, and she introduces President of the United States, who we call Kanks. And this guy, you guys, he is not capable of empathy. He's a malignant narcissist. Once somebody's dead, they're just dead. They're of zero use to him except for his Nazi propaganda-style funeral that they put on together. Here he is dancing while she's like just literally bawled her eyes out trying to give a eulogy to her husband.
Yeah, right.
This is what fascism is, you guys. It is hyper nationalism. And that's what they're doing. This is this whole, we're going to flex our muscles that we are the best Americans. And they bring in all of this hyper masculinity, and they bring in all of these flags that people are carrying around, crosses. And then one of the preachers there, like literally did if you're saved, you can stay seated. If you're not saved, stand up and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. What's so terrifying about this for me is, as an atheist who grew up around this kind of crazy, evil Christian nationalism, and yes, I do think it's evil because it preys on people to not critically think, and they try to lock them in when they're young, is that now they're trying to make it mainstream. What was fringe, the federal government is positioning as mainstream. But I'm going to say, I think this is really, really going to backfire. All that hallelujah, amen, Jesus shit, mega church, technotronics, WWE. I think the overwhelming majority of Americans see that and call bullshit on it. I hope you're right.
It's crazy how it's supposed to be the president of the United States, of the whole United States. It's supposed to be a president for all people. and he's at Charlie Kirk's funeral. The President of the United States and the Vice President is at a funeral, a memorial service. And the whole staff, like, what if it would have blew up? I mean, you can't. You got to run the country. You can't be attending these type of events and speaking at it. You got a whole country to run. Supposed to be trying to bring us together, but you show up at a conservative memorial, and you got the whole country to run. You supposed to be trying to bring people together. Hey, Nevia, how you doing? Supposed to be trying to bring the country together, and you're trying to divide it. So I really hope y'all awake and trying to understand what's going on because it's getting serious out here. Okay, I'm from Charleston, Mississippi, in the northeast, well, northwestern part of the state. What about you?
The people that would be all in for that are already Trump, triple Trumpers, Bible thumpers. They're in that 30% that still supports him. But I thought this was so inappropriate, the way he was behaving. First of all, like you said, he doesn't give a shit. This reminds me of, how are you doing about your good friend dying? Oh, look, we're building my trucks. It was the exact same thing. Zero respect for Charlie Kirk.
And this is what's so insidious about what Charlie Kirk did in his movement when he was alive. He's taking people that were highly, highly indoctrinated in their homes, had parents that believed in a black and white worldview, parents that probably religiously shamed their children as a form of parenting, told them they weren't good, told them they needed saving, told them they couldn't have feelings of wanting to kiss somebody, young teenage boys couldn't masturbate because that was from the devil. Then they get to college campuses, and that's a place where you can critically think, and you're outside of your parents' iron fist ruling and the mega churches' shame oppression that is hammered down on people in Bible Belt states and some of these cities now where these mega churches went to evolve to make more money. And Charlie Kirk was there to reinforce the worst impulses in these kids' lives. And that's what's so insidious about his movement. College campuses are supposed to be a free thought, critical thinking. And I personally knew so many people that were indoctrinated deeply by their parents, deeply by their mega churches, got to college, and then were able to start critically thinking. It's really diabolical, this movement, what it tries to do to kids in an area where they open up their minds and can evolve. And so this funeral is terrifying for so many different reasons. Next up, we have Kanks with his message during the funeral.
Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a...
Listen to Trump. This is a funeral, and they done turned this man's funeral into a rally. They made it about them. His mama wasn't at the funeral. His dad, his brothers, sisters, none of them. They made it all about them. Donald Trump made this all about them as a political theater. And people are not. Why are people not seeing this? Like they thinking that the president is like doing something so noble. He using Charlie Kirk. Why people can't understand that he using them. He using his death as a weapon to push the agendas. And you got people that act like he's so humble, so no, he using this whole situation as a way to get his approval ratings up, and so they can continue to push this agenda. And it's sad because it's going after the most vulnerable people, older people that's afraid, and telling them that immigrants are bad people and blacks, want to harm you. They want to push this narrative like blacks just going out here just, trying to hurt everybody. And immigrants, they crime ridden, and they want to talk about these sending military to these democratic cities, and he's just trying to get the white base riled up so they can. So that's because he know for sure he got them. He gonna lock that in. He just need to get them riled back up, just like when he got shot, and they tried to make it seem like it's an attack on whiteness, and it's an attack on white people. Y'all need to wake up. So I see all the dog whistling. He trying to get the white people to rise up and get active. Like I said, it's sad. Well, let's listen to what Trump got to say at a funeral now.
Noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent.
He said he hated his opponents. Like, you the president of the United States, you're supposed to be a president for all of us. And your whole cabinet is white. 98%, 99% of them white. Everybody that you supporting, and it's sad.
I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Eric.
First and foremost, that's so gross, but expected, not surprised in the least bit that he said that. Secondly, Charlie Kirk was an unrepentant racist, homophobe, misogynist. You can say he didn't hate his opponents, but everything that he advocated for was oppressive, was to oppress people. Demeaning a person that might be a pilot because of the color of their skin, telling Taylor Swift she needed to submit to her husband. And that's just child's play. And if you really dive into this guy's body of work, it was horrific, hateful rhetoric. And so it's no surprise to me that Trump and Charlie Kirk found each other and that their policies aligned. There's some revisionist history here to say that Charlie Kirk didn't hate his opponents. Maybe he smiled but I've heard so many clips of the stuff that he has said. He talked about children witnessing executions at 12 years old. That's pretty hateful. So this whole movement and this whole funeral was just contradictions all at one time. Erica Kirk, I forgive the killer. Kanks comes out, I hate everybody. And so this is what this evangelical Christianity is. It is just this movement of contradictions, this movement of people that have a mouthful of scripture and hearts full of hate. Yep. And so if Charlie Kirk were so full of Christianity, he would have never found himself in a position to support Donald Trump. This is hypocrisy on parade, and the demise of the United States of America. If this fringe movement continues at the rate that it is, these people want to isolate. They intentionally want to destroy the economy. They want to take away all women's rights. They want to erode this country to where when they say make America great again, we're going back to just white supremacist men's ruling. And I'm dead serious. That's what's in Project 2025. It is. And when you look at what they're doing, they're isolating us from NATO. They're isolating us from every country but Israel. They're tanking the economy. Now they don't want to give vaccines. Poor people and sick people are disposable in an autocracy. It's absolutely stunning that it.
The goal, make America great again. The goal is to bring this back when white men rule. They want to raise the prices on everything. They want to raise the prices on everything. So the sick and get rid of Medicare and Medicaid. So the sick, the old, and the homeless people, they want them out the way. They want them to go ahead and just die. They useless. Get them out the way. Old, you sick, or you homeless. They want y'all out the way. They want the immigrants to be gone, and they want to make them pay their way back. So basically, they're saying basically you can come and work at these hotels, but you need whoever over you, they need to pay us for you to come back. So they ship everybody out of here. Just ICE just come out here taking everybody away, and telling them you come back, but you got to pay 600,000, and you can come work at these hotels and Home Depot and make houses, build houses, but we need to be getting compensated for you being here. And they trying to lock all the black people up by putting this notion out there that blacks are criminals and putting that into the minds and heads of people. And we just had a black kid in Mississippi that got hung, and they're not. Our governor is not even acknowledging the situation. Nobody's making people online making a big deal out of it, but nobody's nationally making a big deal out of it or doing an investigation. So he got hung. They saying it was a suicide, but I mean, not too many, not many black men. Not many black men commit suicide anyway. But how many black kids go commit suicide by hanging themselves in a tree? It just don't make sense. Seems like somebody, and then you want to release video of the campus. I know you got a video of your campus. Why haven't they released the video showing what happened, what led up to the incident? If it happened on campus, outside, I'm sure you got surveillance videos covering those areas. At least him walking to the area or leaving out the dorm. I'm sure they got cameras at the dorm or wherever he was at, his apartment, whatever. But no footage been released. They saying it's a suicide. I mean, sickening. Let's go.
Picked up as much speed as it had, and they put it on the news.
Okay, so next up, you mentioned Israel, and Tucker Carlson goes out on stage, you guys, and there is this whole like civil war within the MAGA movement of Christian Zionists like Huckabee, Laura Loomer, and others that are just like, want to be one with Israel. And then there are the people like Tucker Carlson and others, and Charlie Kirk was allegedly one of these. And I've seen some video of him questioning October 7th and did Benjamin Netanyahu allow a security lapse intentionally? And so there is this civil war, but a lot of it within the right is rooted in anti-Semitism. And what I'm going to play for you right here is a video of Tucker Carlson basically equating the killing of Jesus Christ to the killing of Charlie Kirk, and that one particular type of people did both. Play the clip. It's stunning.
They're trying to compare Charlie Kirk to Jesus Christ. Sick.
He was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea. Why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
Oh my God.
So weird.
So
It
weird.
doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything
let
is
me just
inverted.
say this. If you're thinking, okay, well, did he or did he not just accuse the Jews of killing Charlie Kirk? All you need to know is the neo-Nazis and the anti-Semites online 100% think that's exactly what he said. People of Tucker Carlson's state in their career don't just flippantly make these type of statements and say, oh, you misunderstood or it's out of context. This was intentional. And it's wild to me still that so many Zionist Jewish people think that they're going to be safe within this party, that they don't ever think that this party where under their big tent there's room for Nazi flags, Nazi propaganda, the president's top advisor to quote and plagiarize Nazi propaganda speech, that at some point those knives aren't going to be turned on them. Same reason why as a woman, this doesn't appeal to me, because I know at some point the knives are going to be turned on women.
Well, this regime turns against everyone when it behooves them. It's women. Now we're going after service members that are LGBTQIA+, Black people in the military. They're going after everyone. And these white women don't believe they're coming after them. We don't have abortion in Oklahoma. It's already started. And Tucker Carlson is up there saying all this stuff. Mind you, Elon Musk is also there that did Sig Heils on the stage. And you have all these Nazi flags, every Trump rally, Trump vote parade. So it's just the cognitive dissonance that's ever going to come back on them. It's the terminal uniqueness that I'm special.
Right. Okay. And then here we have, this is the top advisor to a president who is intellectually lazy, doesn't really care about policy, cares more about what late night comedians say about him than he does about making the United States a prosperous, safe country. He doesn't care about any of that. So in that vacuum of the president of the United States not giving a shit about the country, how it's run, you have evil people that come and step up to the plate. And no one is worse than Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller, in this speech, you guys, he basically plagiarizes Hitler's propagandist, Joseph Goebbels. And this is just crazy. This is such insanity that this event was even televised. Play the clip.
Light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
To quote George W. Bush, that's some weird shit. I mean, that is just, and when I heard the audience applause, it doesn't surprise me, because I have grown up in a Christian nationalist state around evangelical Christians whom say one thing, oh, I'm going to Bible study, I'm doing this. Right. And then when it comes to standing up for a marginalized person, they're picking on them. And this is just in just normal, like, you're at the park with your kid.
That's what I see. Online, they Christians. They stand for this cause, stand for this cause and this cause. But then you see them at church, but then you see them at the club, at the bars, just doing all kind of wild stuff in private, but in public they Christians, but they hatred and they racist, and do all this stuff in the background, but online they Christians.
And you see some Christian woman and she's disparaging a child. And so this sort of cruelty doesn't surprise me, because this is the culture that megachurch hyper Christianity has created. And I grew up around it. And it is one of the cruelest movements that I've ever seen. And what terrifies me so much is, as a progressive atheist that lived in the Bible Belt, I always knew the federal government was going to protect me from these worst dark age impulses of Christianity. And now it's mainstreamed, and it's wild. It is so crazy to see this, and it's so terrifying. And I hope to God, Democrats, and if there are any sane Republicans and independents, recognize that this is a death cult. This type of Christianity is no different from Islamist extremism. It's absolutely zero difference. And these people are dead serious, and they are mean as shit. I'm telling you, we live around these people. They like that shit.
Some of the meanest people in the world are Christians. Some of the most judgmental people are Christians. And you got this, it's like this hate streak inside them. And they judge everything and like they shit don't stink. Some of the meanest, nastiest people I know that are so-called Christians.
Like it. They like it because it's saying how great they are and how terrible everybody else is. But for him to sit up there, and it's televised, saying the people who do violence against them, it is, you all are doing the violence. You all are doing the division. You all are otherizing people and demeaning people. But the people that watch that, they believe Stephen Miller.
Well, they're using this the same way that Hitler used the Reichstag fire. Yeah. And when I knew we were in big trouble was in the first hour to 2 hours after it was announced that Charlie Kirk had been murdered. The coordinated messaging to blame the left. And NBC reported over the weekend that the FBI and law enforcement still cannot link the shooter to any left-wing organizations. They can't link him to anything. He's one of their own. And what's so fascinating to me is this one thing that you would always think government would do is, after something like this, what caused this? Well, we know access to guns is a huge problem. Well, they're not talking about that. Radicalization is something they're talking about, but they're lying about it. They're lying about how this kid was radicalized. They won't ever mention that perhaps he was radicalized in a black and white worldview, starting in his church and with his parents. Mm-hmm. Because there is this whole thing that Christians believe, not all Christians, but these right-wingers, that that I see in radical Christianity. And people get really upset if you even inject a tiny bit of critical thinking and splinter their worldview. They get really hysterical, which is the sign that you're in a cult. And lastly, I just want you to realize how everybody in MAGA, all of the players that built this right-wing media ecosystem, how they see this funeral as this big victory. Listen to Steve Bannon.
The whole service was muscular Christianity. This is why I put out the New York Times and MSNBC are going to lead tomorrow, because they're melting down. Muscular, a form of muscular Christianity, Christian nationalism.
Muscular Christianity and Christian nationalism. That is what is in Project 2025. To all of the white people that voted for Donald Trump, that are not crazy mega church attendees, that thought they were going to get a tax break and the 401ks were going to flourish. Your racism that you refuse to address and reconcile and come to terms with led you to this, and you're going to lose all of it. This is as dangerous as it gets. All right, that's all we have. We'll be back later with more news.
Yep. So the people that voted for this, I mean, you're gonna get what you deserve. I've been trying to tell you. We know this coming. This man gonna be in office 4 years, and he don't have to worry about running again. So he gonna do what he want. He don't got to please the masses no more. He just gonna please his base and rack in as much money as he can, and go play golf every day. So I can't believe we elected a guy that got nothing to lose. Just so we elected him so he can get out of jail. He won't have to go to jail, and so he can weaponize the government to get rich. It's so sad. Well, y'all, thanks for the likes. Thanks for the support. Um, check out some of my videos. I'm gonna be more active on here. We're gonna do some collaborations. Um, but you're definitely gonna see stepping in, having conversation. Peace and love. Thank y'all again.